Josh Green here for Seconds Out. Delighted to be joined by the first time by Arlo Stephens, making his professional debut this Saturday. How are you doing, Arlo?
Good, thank you, Josh. Thank you for your time.
Absolute pleasure. How are you feeling ahead of Saturday? You've got a wealth of amateur experience, but making your pro debut with GBM on Saturday.
No, I'm feeling really, really good. You know, essentially, it's just another fight. It just happens to be my pro debut, so it's more exciting than, I suppose, a regular amateur bout. But to me, it's just another fight. One more round instead of the amateur 3 rounds. Just go in there and get a job done. You know what I mean? Seek and destroy.
Why was now the right time for you to jump into the professional ranks? Because I know you've not started boxing from a really early age. It was something you came to a little bit later in your life.
Yeah, so that's it. I started late, so I didn't start until I was 21. And now I'm 27. I feel like, I've developed my man strength. I've been in there with some of the best. I've boxed for long enough now, and I always said to myself when I got to the 40 fight mark, I was either going to be ready to turn pro or I might as well pack the job in. And I've reached 40 fights. And I feel like now I'm ready. As you said, I sparred some of the best men in the world, and I'm at least holding my own with them, if not better. So I just know that, yeah, the time is now. Strike while your iron's hot.
Taking up the sport, I think it was believed when you were in university, you sort of got that interest in taking part in boxing. Where did that come from for yourself? Because lots of the guys pick it up a lot earlier than that.
Yeah, you know what it was? I always liked boxing as a kid, but in truth, I was probably just not brave enough to actually go and have a scrap, sort of with people watching, and rather than like a street fight, do you know what I mean? Just an actual organised boxing match. But then when I got, well, like I say, to about 21, I happened to meet AJ because I was just a fan, I was just a boxing fan. I was at one of the press conferences, and I realised that, physically we're no different. He's, do you know what I mean, 6'5", 6'6", about 17, 18 stone. I was the same. So I thought, if he could do it, why not me? And then literally the next day I went to a boxing gym, and about 3 weeks later I had my first fight.
Did you realise from quite early on that you had some sort of talent in this, or did it take a lot of work to get to a certain level?
I'd rather arrogantly say that I thought I could go all the way from day one. Whether that's arrogance or just delusion, I don't know. But like I say, I decided I was going to be a professional boxer before I had my first fight. And I just from there, I was working out twice a day, every day from, like I say, the first day I stepped in the gym. So I just dedicated myself to it.
That first meeting with AJ, you said it was at a press conference. Was it the Charles Martin fight? Is that what I read?
Yeah, it was.
I believe he snubbed you for a photograph on that day.
He did. But then again, he's probably, well, he did. He had thousands of people asking for pictures, so I was just another person, you know what I mean?
Yeah. But since then, you've had the chance to meet again. You've been in the same ring with him. That must be an incredible experience going from that press conference to actually spending time learning with him.
Well, that's it. It was a real, like, full circle moment, if that makes sense. It was, yeah, quite surreal because that, he's the guy who made me want to do it. And then even getting to share that story with him was just a laugh, you know what I mean? It's good to do.
What was the experience like for you, somebody who's right at the start of their pro career in the amateurs at that point, and him now a two-time world champion? What was the experience like for yourself?
It was quite surreal at the time. It was like, do you know what I mean? It was big AJ, the guy you see on TV selling out Wembley. So it was quite surreal. When you walk in the gym and he's obviously got a presence about him, innit? So at the time, it was like, yep, you're in the deep end now. But then after the sparring, you chat to him, you talk to him, he's just like, he's just a regular guy. So it makes you again feel that you can achieve it too because he's just a normal guy.
Describe for me how those spars went.
They were good. It was just good learning from me, really. That's all I can really say. It was just learning.
The AJ from back then to the AJ that we're seeing now, do you see the same fighter or has something changed for you?
I don't know. I mean, I can only tell you what the man is. That the man that I see now, and he just looks like an animal. He just looks like the best fighter in the world. You know, he looks incredible. He's destructive in every punch that he throws.
I know another side of your journey is your work as an occupational therapist. That's something that you're still very much engaged with at the moment, despite being in the professional ranks. How do you balance the two?
Long days, to be honest. Long days. So I'm quite lucky with my job. I get to work for four long days a week. So Monday to Thursday, I'm up at 5 in the morning training, go work my 10-hour shift, then go back to training on the way home from work. So that's just my life. That's how I balance it. I just try and do it all.
What does it actually entail, your sort of like day to day at work?
So I work in it's like a mental health. It's a mental health hospital essentially, and I work on a female ward. So it's for females who have come into the mental health system through the criminal justice system. So I spend a lot of time. It's almost like it's like a ward, but it feels more like a youth club, I suppose. And I, just do a lot of activities, get people rehabbed. Just spend my day working with people on a one-to-one basis, really.
You're saying they're sort of long, fairly tiring days. When you get out and you go to the boxing ring, you go to the gym, are there times where you don't want to do that after a long day?
You know what? I'll be honest, training for me is the easy part because I love it. I live for it. Waking up at 6 in the morning is fine. Training after work is fine. It's just the middle bit where I wish, do you know what I mean, I could just focus more on rehabbing myself, or resting, or training, maybe get fitness a third session in, because it's the training is the bit that I'm obsessed with.
We talked a little bit about AJ. I know you shared some time in the ring with Frazer Clarke as well. He's someone that turned over in professional ranks pretty late as well, even later than you have. Is he sort of another journey, and you look what he's achieved and you want to follow what he's done?
Absolutely, absolutely, man. Fraser, out of every professional there in the world, Fraser's the guy that I work with the most. Like I said, I've just done the 12-week camp with him before his fight Fabio Wardley. I was in camp with him 2 or 3 times before that as well. So I've done hundreds of rounds with Fraser, and his career is something that I want to follow closely. I want those titles, I want those chances, I want those shots, and I think I'm capable of getting them.
How did you see the fight with Fabio? I think a lot of people had different opinions on it.
Yeah, you know what? But I'll acknowledge the fact that I'm biased because Fraser's my friend. I'm biased, but I had him winning. I thought he won. What was it, 8 or 9 rounds? I thought he won. Drew the round that he lost a point on. But that's boxing, isn't it?
A second fight between them two seems inevitable at the moment. What
Absolutely.
do you think would have to change Fraser to make sure it was a more dominant performance, to make sure he gets the win?
I just think he needs to, I think the first 3 rounds he was punch perfect. And I think he just needs to carry that on for longer this time. Upset his rhythm constantly with the jab, throw a 1-2 now and again. Nothing flash, nothing too forthcoming because obviously Fabio hits real hard. But he just needs to stay disciplined and box him, because I think he showed in the first 3 rounds he's the better boxer. He just didn't do it for long enough.
As I mentioned at the start of the interview, making your pro debut this Saturday, what can we expect to see from the Arlo Stephens journey?
Exciting nights. Exciting nights is what you can expect to see. In the ring, relentless punching and aggression is what you can expect. And just a thrill, man. Just a thrill. I'm not here to waste time. I'm not here for boring fights. I'm here to try and knock people out and go as far as I can.
Is it the case for you, the position you're in, it's a bit of a fast track? You want to get to those titles as quickly as possible and not sort of build slowly as we see with a lot of prospects these days?
Yeah, I mean, I think considering my level of experience, I'm not an Olympian or anything like that. Somewhere in the middle is ideal for me, I think. I don't want, to fight 100 big men because, where's the joy in that almost? I do want titles, and I want to get there quickly, just not too quick. I don't want to be giving away experience when I don't need to be.
And for the first time in your professional career against Amine Bichetta on Saturday, give us your fight week prediction.
You know what? I think it's a lot of noise if I tell you right now I want to knock him out, or if I try and tell you what I'm going to do. People don't know me, so I can only prove it. But what I'm going to try to do is give him the hardest night of his life. If I stop him brilliant. But if not, he's going to earn the right to be up for 4 rounds, because I'm going to be on him for every second of it.
Perfect. Arlo Stephens, really appreciate it, and best of luck when Saturday night comes.
Thank you very much.